What's up, guys? It's Swag Monkey here, and today I'm going to be informing you a little bit about the Bay of Pigs invasion. Here we have our finely crafted simulation island, where we are going to be running a little test on to see how well these Cuban exiles can take over the Bay of Pigs and begin their revolution. While over here we have Castro's forces who are preparing to defend Cuba with their lives. And what you may already know about the Bay of Pigs, it was a pretty horrendous failure on the U.S.'s part. It was a major stain on the Kennedy administration, as well as just a large blunder by the CIA. And the negative effects would be continuing for decades as the U.S. continues to have a rather poor relationship with Cuba due to some questionable decisions, poorly implemented plans, and general aggression. So just some background on the Bay of Pigs. It was a plan by the U.S. to send in around 1,400 Cubans who had been exiled for rebelling against Fidel Castro's regime. They planned to conduct air or like bombings on the Cuban Air Force to take them out, so they would have limited fighting capacity and to better allow their ground troops to land on the beaches and then work their way inland to set up a revolution. And this plan, pretty much the success of this plan entirely hinged on whether or not these people would be able to get to a defensible position and recruit Cuban citizens to their cause, which obviously they failed because they lasted about a day. What went wrong? The bombing campaign was just terrible. The poorly disguised U.S. bombers barely took out any of the Cuban Air Force, meaning these guys had to take on the force of like the entire operationable Cuban Air Force in the area. Also, weather was very poor. These guys were dropped off with barely any supplies. All got lost at sea because planes took out U.S. transport ships, and also Castro's military outnumbered them about 200 to 1. So they basically had no chance from the beginning. And there's just so many questionable decisions that were made. But, I mean, it's an interesting piece of history, which is why we have this fun little mock-up today that I'm going to show you. So, let's watch it. Okay, here we are at the Bay of Pigs, Cuba, on our little vantage point, so we can watch the battle from above. As you can see on our left, we have Fidel Castro's army. They are in a defensive position for this base here, little checkpoint and guard tower, barracks over there. That's where the majority of the men at this base are. Also a warehouse. And as you can see here, we have Brigade 2506. They have just been dropped off at that beach. They rushed up the hill, and they are now beginning the invasion of Cuba. They are doing a full rush through the checkpoint, taking a defensive position in the trees. They don't really have a whole lot of cover, while Castro's men have the clear advantage with a better defensive position. A bomb just went off, decimating the rebels. There are not many left. Soon more will be landing, but not nearly enough to overcome the odds. So the playing field just a little bit, so the rebels have a chance to at least get in. And now that a few guards have been taking out, reinforcements, or Castro's reinforcements will be coming soon to crush this invading force. Alright, I'm gonna get down here, and it's going very poorly for the rebels. Help them out a little bit. I'll just do that a little. Now, not only do they have their defensive force at the front gate, they're sending in additional troops. There they have the armored truck that they're using to lock down the road, leading further into the island. And there is at this point, there is very little chance, very little chance of a success from the rebels, with them having very low supplies. Most of them were lost at sea or sunk in the mud on landing. Also no air support because it's late, and also it will inevitably just be shot down due to Castro's air force pretty much fully intact with their common run. The fate of most of these soldiers are, I mean, a relatively low amount of them were actually killed. Most of them were surrounded and captured until a trade was negotiated. The U.S. gave millions and millions of dollars of supplies or investments in exchange for the safety of the exiles who had been held captive for quite a long time. I think at least a couple of years. And here we have second wave, but not nearly as severe as their first one. They pretty much lost their only chance for a successful invasion. And then we'll, here's more reinforcements. So they really, unfortunately, never had a chance. Very poor planning on the part of the CIA. From the get-go. And additional people. It looks like my fate will be death in the service of my country, which is pretty poetic and tragic, honestly. And so our revolution comes to an end before it had a chance to begin. These Cuban exile forces are rounded up and captured by Fidel Castro, and now the Kennedy administration has a major mark of shame for a pretty horribly failed plan, poorly planned and poorly executed. Although it wasn't, actually most of the fault resides with the CIA due to corruption, some disagreements, dishonesty. They changed the plan a lot, which wasn't even very good to begin with, leading to just a mess that was doomed from the start, and they knew it, but they went through with it anyway because, not sure why, it was pretty stupid. And some consequences of the failure of the Bay of Pigs invasion. Castro is in power still, and probably has an even tighter grip on Cuba due to Cuban citizens now being united against America due to America's meddling in their business, trying to interfere with their daily lives and also killing some of their people. And this will soon lead to the Cuba allying with the Soviet Union, and later the Cuban Missile Crisis, where Cuba gets their hands on Soviet missiles to threaten the U.S. with them. And to this day, the relationship between the U.S. and Cuba is pretty negative. There's quite an amount of tension and hostility due to unkept promises, because Kennedy continued to interfere with Cuba, tried some more invasions, all of which didn't work out very well. But fortunately, at least with the end of the Soviet Union, Cuba has kind of chilled out. They're no longer a threat to America,
Now they're just kind of a neighbor we don't really want to talk to, and they don't want to talk to us. So, yeah, just Bay of Pigs was not a good idea, and definitely a showing that even the greatest nation in the world can make some pretty bad mistakes that put them in bad positions. So yeah, thanks for watching.